This is a page that is basically made with uh, box blocks made with a plugin called Lazy Blocks found at WordPress.org. And I'm showing you this because this is an example of what I mean with a title. They have a title of each block. As you can see here, it indicates that this is the Qt feature. They got the icon that I've set up for that particular block, which is basically the same thing um, in the inspector, um, minus the description. I don't have any, all I have is feature as a description. So that's one example. It would have been even nicer if I could, if this could have been something like an accordion, so I could minimize it, so I can close it up. In terms, in case a particular block gets too much space, and I wanna, you know, minimize things. But this is one good example uh, for a block. Now, for my ACF blocks, the way I'm combating this in a way, it's by using accordions, actually tabs and accordions. Um, so that's one way, I guess, of doing this. But this looks nicer and neater. Um, so let me show you really quickly how Lazy Blocks works. Um, and when I found this a few weeks ago, I thought for a second that I, it was you guys, it was ACF that had created this plugin because it looks so similar. You got your fields, your field blocks over here, just like ACF, with the difference of what's happening on the side. The tool section, it's very similar to the ACF. You can export in PHP. You also have a template that you can use. Let's forget about templates for a second. Let me go back to the actual screen. Um, and basically, unlike ACF, which is not that big of a deal, is you don't need to add any code to your functions, and you don't have to create the templates to render the blocks. Um, the categories, even a custom category can be created here. You can choose a dash icon for it. You put the slug in. You got your description, the keywords and then you can set what type of supporting the block is going to have. You can have multiple instances or one instance, and then if you want to have the class name, the anchor, and HTML. And the reason why the class name and the HTML I had removed them, because just like ACF, the class name wasn't being saved, and also the HTML I wasn't able to I wasn't able to see any HTML code saved, displayed when trying to view the code from a block made with lazy blocks, and also where you know where those blocks are supposed to be displayed, which custom post type, which post type actually. Now the big difference is that, and this is really good, um, they don't use PHP for the templating. It's a language called handlebars. Um, I prefer the HTML, by the way, but which is really good is you have two sets of codes that you can enter, and it could be exactly the same. And as you can see, it's a little bit different. You have the front end HTML part, and then the editor HTML part. In some cases, and I can give you examples if you want, it is absolutely necessary to have two different sets of rendering code, the one for the front end and one for the back end. And right now, ACF only has one code that's been used for both instances. Again, I can, if you want, if you can't understand what I'm saying, I can show you precisely uh, at least one example that is an absolutely necessary item to have a front end code and a back end code. So that's it. Um, I hope I'll hear from you guys soon. Um, Good job. It's a good start with what you're doing. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.